It's been 2 months since your hometown, Eidos, was ripped from its own reality and placed in a new world. The Eidosians are calling it Horizon. Untamed and uncharted, it presents both risk and opportunity for all. Rangers, mages, and warriors all eagerly answer the call. Not all who have gone in search of fame and fortune have returned. There are many dangers lurking in the dark. Horrors from other dimensions summoned to Horizon as you were. Still, there is hope. There are friendly faces in Eidos, always willing to aid you in your journeys. And in the back of your mind burns the unanswerable question: who brought Eidos to this strange place called Horizon, and why?
Gonna unmute myself. Hey everyone, welcome to our first community chat for Dragon's Crossing. I hope you guys are excited. We're a couple days out from the Genesis Hero Mint, and then just a short few days until we get the actual game. As a reminder, I hope you guys have seen some of the announcements that we've put up. The first being that we're actually going to be hosting a live stream on May 27th. It starts 10 minutes before the whitelist mint opens up. The whitelist spot or the whitelist minting period will be an hour long, and then we will have the regular minting period be from noon onwards. Now, if you were on the fence on whether or not you wanted to do a regular or a boosted mint, here's a reminder of what a boosted mint offers you. You get a 50% increased chance of either getting a legendary or a mythic hero. Obviously, the chances of getting a rare go down because that's where the rarity boosts come from. You also can select your hero class and gender. I know some of you have had your eye on a certain hero. And also, and this is really cool, you are entered into a drawing to receive one of 3 unique Genesis heroes. These are one of 1 heroes. There's 12 of them in total. We are giving away 3 of these to random winners who have chosen the boosted mint. So all that stuff is so exciting. Make sure that you keep on top of everything that's going on by following us on Dragon's Crossing. Here you see our Twitter address. Also join our Discord. The link is in the description below. Now, in today's stream, we really want to talk to the community. And you already know that we have 2 community ARM members who will be playing this game alongside both of you. And we're going to bring them on the stream right now to hear from them, to hear about their excitement, to hear about their strategies going into the mint, as well as the day 1 launch. So we have Grady and Doug Hype. Welcome.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
Baby.
Woo!
I got the merch.
Grady's been to the post office recently. I haven't, so I haven't gotten mine. They called me like 2 weeks ago and said it's ready. I'm like, I just got to make it over there. But it looks really sweet.
Yeah, man.
Sweet. I love that. Like, I love like gold and black, so I just love seeing that sort of contrast. Of like a lot of the press releases and stuff I put out uses those colors. I just love it. You know, like my own channel have the same thing. You can see it even in the context of like the brown gent and like the yellowish golden left. I love that color scheme. So it's sick. And also like the logo looks super on that too. So
Yes.
super sweet.
I love it.
Yeah.
I got Baby Punch. We got Baby Punch hooking us up. Let's go.
Yeah. Hopefully that merchandise will eventually be available to our players, to our audience, and everything else like that. Now, this isn't going to be a long stream because, as a reminder for everyone, we have a very important town hall this Friday. It's going to be announced on Twitter and probably in the next half an hour to an hour, 5 p.m. on Friday, right before the Genesis Hero Mint, which happens on Saturday. You're going to hear about some incredible updates and changes to the game, all things that I think will make you super bullish about the team, super bullish about the game and everything else moving forward. You're going to hear a lot about a lot of the questions that you've had, that you've posted in the Discord. They've been answered. I hope one thing that you take away from this is the team is very responsive to feedback, and you'll see that and you'll experience that on Friday as we get closer to that mint. But I'm here to sort of interview, both of these gents. So, maybe we'll take turns sort of going back and forth. But, we'll start with Grady. What are you most excited about in Dragon's Crossing?
So I think the gameplay, I think I can't wait to get it out there to the world on how the strategy is going to come into play, going to different tiles, making all the critical decision making. I think is going to be addictive, and I think it's a winner. So I can't wait. I'll be doing regular videos on the gameplay and showing. I just think will be easy to play, easy access, simple, and super addictive. I can't wait.
Sweet. And Doug?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've been thinking about this since the town hall that we had just a few days ago, and I'm like super pumped because there's been all this tension of like, what is the game really like? What is it going to really look like the rest of the game, right? And everyone's thinking about that. They're like, bro, where's your Dragon's Crossing hat, bro? Let's go, baby. Let's go. Dragon's Crossing in the house. Okay, so this is the thing. We got a little bit of a glimpse of a little bit further in the game, and we saw some gorgeous artwork, some really cool stuff going on. So I have a whole list, baby. I got a top 10 list right here. All right, for you. Okay. Yeah, I got a top 10 list for you guys. All right, to talk about all the amazing things that I'm jacked up and strategy for Dragon's Crossing. Okay, so this is a really exciting week. We're getting more info, and the mint's going to happen, and the game is going to release, and it's going to be like gangbusters. People are going to get excited. They're going to be like, "Well, I'm playing the game. Check out this art." I mean, did you see the freaking artwork that was being pushed out, man? Like those elves and the ogres and stuff. It was just fantastic. It's like the artwork just keeps getting better, and people had all these questions about it, right? Of like what it's going to look like and everything. And so yeah, I'm really pumped about that. I've been spending today making my list of the top 10 things that we should know about Dragon's Crossing, right? What should you be thinking about?
It's awesome. It's awesome. Love hearing that. Super jealous that you guys get to enjoy and play the game.
That's true. Also, we get to flex on you all day, every day.
Yeah.
That's actually the number one thing is we get to flex on Brown Gent because he can't play the game.
Yeah. It's actually the worst.
It's actually the worst.
Speaking of things I'm jealous about, Doug, the mint's coming up on the 27th. Do you have any ideas what your approach is going to be? Are you going to go for the regular or the boosted mint for your Genesis Hero? What are you going to do? Do you have an idea of how many?
Do you want me just to bust out my top 10 list, bro?
I would love. Yes, why not?
All right, let's look at it. All right, let's do this Wayne's World style, baby. Okay, number one strategy. Don't die, okay? We're going to get to your question in just a second. Don't die, all right? Number one, don't die. And my comment on that is that, like, if you die, you lose all of your items, as you saw in my video I made, except for one, right? Like, it's a big deal if you die, right? The only items you get to keep are, like, a couple items. Like, one item that's on you, some that's also in your storage, right? Not a whole lot. Anyways, but if you go down my list a little bit, number two is Giant Chonker. Run away, flee. Okay, so my number one strategy is to don't die, right? But let's get down to my number. Yeah, let's get down to what number is this? Get minty.
Mint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4 is He's a Babe Thirst Traps. The artwork is amazing, and this is the thing, guys. Like the number 4, He's a Babe Schwing, right? Okay, so we got this beautiful artwork. Not only that, like have we announced to the public that there's going to be some special NFTs, Brown Gent? Do they know about this?
Yes.
Okay. So there's going to be one of one artwork, special NFTs that you can possibly get during the mint, right? So your strategy should be number one, mint as much as you can to get those legendaries and everything, right? But also get minty. So the thing about it is when you're minting these heroes, the better rarity that you have in your hero, like the better, what is it, the drop rates you're going to
Operate. That's correct. Yeah. So the thing is, remember, the way this game is built, we want to make sure that you can't pay to like play, right? It's
Right.
got to be sort of like we don't want to give any advantages to somebody who decides to sort of try to invest heavily, right? Like in other games, you can sort of buy something that's like gives you a competitive an edge. Here, they want to make sure that everybody shows up on an even playing field. But what's really nice is like you get these like the unique art was initially created by our artist, right? And I think there's only 12 of them, 12 one out of ones.
There's only 12 101s. And if you saw the artwork that was put out in that town hall just a couple days ago, the elf people were going crazy in the Discord, like saying like, oh my God, there's traps. How do I get those elves? How do I get this? How do I get that? So that's like a little preview of the potential of what might be happening, with these 101s, or just the potential for the amazing and gorgeous artwork for that. And also just the possibilities in the future, because right now we have a certain amount of Genesis heroes, and then we'll have like the other heroes too. But like the future, building on this game, having more things to come, right? That's like really bullish, really inspiring and fun. Look at me and Grady. Look at our lighting that we got going on. Grady's got like lighting him from the sides right now. I got like my top down lighting. Look at this.
Oh, I forgot to turn my lighting on. Oops.
Oh, Brown Gent.
Amateur hour.
Get that light on, bro. There you go. Now your cheekbones are popping, baby.
No, dude, I just went to the gym, get a good pump before the stream. But what I want to know, Doug, is what do you think? Is it regular or boosted for you?
So this is the thing, okay? Like I wrote down in here, I'm telling everyone, I think that you want to do a boosted min, I think. And I thought about it for like weeks, because you not only do you get to choose the kind of hero that you want, the ranger, the mage, or whatever, right? So you can, like, a lot of people love like the warrior classes, and a lot of people love the ranger classes. And in this specific case, a lot of people really like the mage artwork, right? They're like really digging that, right? So I think that's a good thing to go for. And also gives you that little bit of extra boost, just a tiny bit of extra boost in mint, because the thing is, you never want to be sitting there the next week or two later going like, man, I wish I would have gotten the boosted mint, right? You know what I mean? It's like your one chance to do that. And of course, another part of it is that you can mint in public mint, whatever, as many as you want, right? So like the more you mint, the better chances you have of getting a higher tier legendary rarity or whatever. But that's the thing too, is like I have a whole scheme of strategy here. Okay, this top 10 list is going to get you like climbing a ladder and just like dunking on fools left and right, and just feeling good. Like you're going to be like in Dragon Heaven, okay, with this top 10 list I got going on here for strategy. Okay,
Sweet.
So just keep that in mind.
Now, if you don't mind sharing, do you have any target number for the number of Genesis heroes you want?
A lot, as many as I can. Like I think that and the typical NFT schematic is to get 3, so that you get 1 to keep forever no matter what, and then you have 2 just in case you feel like you might want to sell and get something else, or use them for like leverage or whatever it is, right? So that is probably like if you're really a gamer, I think that like around 3 or 4 is like how much you want to get. You know what I mean? If you're really serious about it. Now, and these are Genesis heroes, you can also get the other heroes that are not Genesis heroes too, right? So like and you can find those in the field, right? But this is the thing, you have to understand, the more Genesis heroes you have, the more of those you're going to find. So the more that it means, the more power you also have in the market, right? So you can, the more you have power wise as far as NFTs, the more you can affect the market how you think the game should be played, which is a big thing that we know, that the founders and the team don't dictate the number of NFTs in the game. It's all dictated by us, the people playing the game, me and Grady and all the people that get to play the game and have fun while Brown Gent watches us. Okay.
As a reminder, so to your point, as a reminder, Genesis heroes are the only heroes that summon.
Yes.
Like they find summoning shards in the game. right? And then at the same time, the team will have 0 of those. So like we're not like none of the
Yes.
core team will have it. None of us will be minting it. It's to make sure that we don't sort of take away from the community, right? The whole purpose here is to make sure that we don't get in a situation where, like obviously, like if I could, I'd want one of every like my personal stance is I want one of every class and gender.
Right.
6.
That's why I'm saying like, oh, well, you want one of every class in general, like 6. And then, if you get 3, you could get one of every class, a ranger,
right.
a mage,
That was it.
the warrior class. And so then the things you have all the different advantages of those classes, because part of my strategy that I have my top 10 list is you should go hard at first, because you should learn and take risk as much as you can at first to see how the game works. Right.
Right.
And the more heroes you have, the more you can take those risks. Because think about this. If you're in the beginning of the game, say the first 3 days of the game, and you die and you lose some items, that's not so great. But that's way better than you dying 15 days in when you have like these amazing weapons, right? And these amazing things, and like and you're building up all of your stuff going on, right? So my strategy is to go hard and learn and get killed by chonkers if you have to right away. I mean, watch out for chonkers. That's number 2 is giant chonkers. Watch out for
We don't want to share all of it because I do have some questions on that after. Now, what I will say is I think this is the longest Grady's not said a word for in his life. So I do want to sort of get to him.
Sorry, Grady. It's because I have a whiteboard in my hand. It makes me look like I'm important.
With the mint coming up, what are your thoughts on the boosted versus regular? And do you have a target number?
Yeah, so here's my game plan.
Yeah.
I don't have as much money as I did in the past, but my game plan all along was to have at least one of each hero and of the sexes. So I want 6.
Mm-hmm.
So my game plan is to probably start with like 3 regular mints, and I plan on doing it live one way or another,
Yeah.
And so like maybe 3 or 4 regular mints, and then for sure at least 1 or 2 boosted mints to complete kind of my tree.
To find which ones you didn't get, right? It's like
Exactly.
Right.
That makes sense to do that.
And it's like the debate is hard, right? Because the debate is between, do you want more Genesis heroes versus, it's like, it's a tough call for me. I've been debating it back and forth. At first, I was like, for sure, I'll do the boosted mint, to get the extra chance for the rarity. But then it's like, when you have limited funds, it's like,
well, that is a strategy. You could do non-boosted at first, and if you didn't get what you want, you can do boosted then.
Yeah,
right.
Fill the holes. That's good.
Dude, we're geniuses. Right. Look at us.
As far as the gameplay, if you guys remember, because there's a comment on the gameplay, and that there's been a lot of comments, over the last couple months on gameplay. If you guys remember with DeFi Kingdoms, when they had the daily contest going, that is what really sucked me in. I mean, I was a sucker for that. Seeing my name on the leadership board. So you had the daily contest, the weekly, and the monthly. And those contests, it was just purely questing strategy and having certain heroes and things. But it was so fun. It was like my whole day started revolving around that 6 p.m. time, Central Grady time, it's when it reset every day and then every week and then every month. Okay, this is so much even on a whole different level than that. So that was fun, but this is like you get that quality of the contest, but then the quality of the game and the strategy behind it, knowing in the back of your mind you want to win. Okay. But then also it's like maybe you get an NFT. Okay. Should I end the day? Should I not end the day? Because another thing is, even if you don't win on the contest, but you get the NFTs, it can still, even if you don't, if you're like 70th percentile, you don't do really well in the seasonal contest, you'll still be getting potentially NFTs and still be profitable even if you lose. So it's like the different tug and pulls. What we haven't seen is how in depth, in which we don't know, by the way, I have no idea. Everything that we saw on Thursday as far as gameplay goes, that was beyond what Doug and I ever knew anything about the game, because we had a super old clunky version of the testnet.
Yeah, from like 6 months ago or something. Yeah.
Right. On Avalanche, testnet, which they had testnet versions of the game on multiple different blockchains.
Yeah.
And it wasn't kept up with. And so a lot of the things we saw was new. So really, we've got zero advantage at all whatsoever when it comes to the game.
Plus, we're sharing all the stuff we're doing. Grady talk about like even like minting live, all that stuff. There's a lot of questions in the comments too that are really good. They want to get into like in-depth strategy stuff, and like, you know, me and Grady both have been racking our heads about this. So I'm sure we can even go deeper into like strategy stuff. Just to let the people know out there, we're gonna, even if we don't cover everything today, we're gonna be doing a lot of stuff about it.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe so. Okay, so you sort of both mentioned what you do with Genesis Heroes and a bit of gameplay. Now, we did sort of show this earlier today. I think it was like maybe an hour ago, maybe an hour and a half ago. Basically, for season 1, right?
Wow, that's huge.
Drop rate will be 3x.
Wow,
I missed that.
What, bro? There's just every day there's gonna be these drops coming out of Dragon's
Crossing. So Bloater Punch basically sent me a thing of here's all the things we like, and like we're gonna get the announcement every single day, something very exciting every single day as we come to launch, which is why it's super important. You see at Dragon's Crossing on the bottom of Twitter. Make sure you're following the account so you know exactly what's going on.
That's one of my top 10 things I'll tell you about later. Okay.
Yeah.
Follow everybody here.
You see you see that announcement on the summoning chart, right? This is happening for season 1. Now, that being said, you know, we're not going to actually tell you what the actual drop rate percentage is, right? Like you already know it's somewhat low. In the test environment, we made it much higher so you could sort of test how it worked and unlock like the token and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you're playing season 1 and you get a bunch of these summoning shards. What are you going to do with them? Are you going to keep them? Are you going to open them? Are you going to trade them to other players? What are your thoughts?
Doug.
Okay, there's a lot of things to think about here. I've been in the NFT game a long time, and NFTs are a little bit gamified because it's like, do you sell, do you keep, or whatever. And, you know, Grady, you're like really great at the strategy in-depth in games that you talked about, right? There's a lot of things to think about here because it's not just gaming, it's NFT stuff, right? The open seas, the open markets or whatever, right? The thing for me is that like it benefits everyone to go hard early. Like we have incentives because the team's smart. Hey, reward people for jumping in early and playing and going for it. And the thing is that like if you jump in and at first you don't sell and you hold on to it, you're gonna see the human nature come out of what people really want and what's important in the game, right? So like at first I feel like first hold, grab onto them, see what's going on, see what you like, see what you don't like, because those skill shards and stuff, they might be something you want and you don't want to sell them if it's something that you've wanted, right? Maybe you got one that's really, really rare. So like I always hesitate to sell. That's my key, is always hesitate to sell when it comes to NFTs and just wait a beat because you don't know what's going to happen next. Plus the next day, the price could go way up or something. Who knows, right? But just hold at first and see what you like. And the thing, and this is part of my top 10 list, is skills are going to be huge because you can use those skills in the next season. They carry over to the next season, right? So having really good skills is going to be a very, very important strategy in this game. So I would say to think about that and to hold, and then see what ones you want to sell off. What skills benefit you the most? For me personally, number 2 on my list of top 10 list is Giant Chonker Watch Out. And the subtitle of that is get skills that help you flee, that help you run away. Okay, that's my first alpha drop on Dragon's Crossing ever, because I believe there's a skill that lets you like auto flee or have a very high chance of fleeing. Dying in the game is really bad. Having that skill to be able to run away at any moment is going to be maybe OP. It might be the top skill in the game. It's almost like if you're in an RPG land and you get like a comeback to life or something, right? That level of skill, because instead of that next turn, you could die. And sometimes when you try to flee in the game, here's some more alpha, it doesn't auto flee. If you hit flee, it's a chance that you could flee. But if that monster's agile, it's going to stab you in the back. You're going to die as you run away, right? So that that high level of fleeing, anything that allows you to survive is going to be OP in this game. I'm telling you right now.
Right. Grady?
Yeah. So as far as skill books, I think will be really key. So I don't.
Before we get to skill books, though, on summoning shards,
Okay,
what would you
on
do?
the shards. Gosh, dang. See, I think for sure, isn't it nice we don't have to worry too much? Like we'll have a DCX token, but we don't have to like worry too much about the volatility of the price of DCX. You know, it's like so refreshing seeing on how much weight is put on tokens these days. It's killing me. Okay, with some of these other gaming projects that have been tanking all over the place. So I can't imagine myself not at least opening the shard, first of all. Now we'll have the option to just sell the shard or open the shard and have the hero. So I'll for sure probably be summoning all the shards, I'm guessing. Yeah. Okay. And then I might decide based off the hero that I get, maybe start selling, I don't know, some of the Rift heroes. It just depends how much time I have and how many heroes I have. But I imagine I won't do a whole lot of selling at least for
also the you do have to pay a gas fee to do transactions. It's not very high. I think it's less than $1 or something, right? So that dissuades people from selling and more towards keeping. But the thing is, I see in the comments, people keep in mind, you're not going to be selling and getting these shards constantly. The drop rates are not going to be hard because you're getting a whole new NFT hero, right? So like, it's not like you're going to be spending tons of money on like gas fees unless you have like, 100 heroes or something maybe.
Right.
Yeah. The one thing I would say, and sort of the way I think it was first positioned to me, is looking at this as another save file. So if you are trying to be competitive with a seasonal play and you're trying to like win, you want as many attempts as possible.
Right.
Right. Whereas there's a very fine balance. I think this is really speaks again to the decision-making component, right? Which is there's not a clear-cut answer on what's the right thing to do. You don't know, right? Is it like how many attempts do I need to potentially give myself the best shot at doing well in season 1 versus do I want to just try to just build up a bunch of mythics and, if I don't get the mythic, sort of swap it for something else, right? These are all sort of like very interesting sort of dynamics of the gameplay. And like, I love hearing that, even from you guys, you're not certain, but like you have a thought, you're going to vet it when the game starts, right?
Right.
So season 1 of gameplay is going to start soon. Do you guys have any thoughts on your strategy out of the gate? Is there anything you can share with those who are watching, those who will watch the video after the fact? Because you have had a little bit of experience with like some of the early game zone. I remember Doug was dying all the time, right? But like, so that's why number 1 is don't die. But is there anything?
Yeah, I gave that alpha away. Don't die and get skills that help you run away. Like, I'm serious. Like, I'm telling you, the day 1 when this game drops, everyone's going to be like, where's that skill that lets me flee?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. My strategy will just be enter as many heroes in as I can, especially on season 1. Get as many as I can. I'm going to ape in mindlessly irresponsible, baby. We're going to buy up a bunch of Genesis heroes and get in there.
We're on the same wavelength, Grady. Is like go hard early to learn. That's how you figure out what the best strategy is, right?
Right.
Were you finding that you camped a lot? Like how did you find that tension? Like when you were testing the game, like what did you find you started doing more?
Like we weren't able to advance to next tiles and play. Right. We were only able to play like the first tile that you play in is like a warm-up tile that anybody can get in there and play and win. It's like, but then as you progressively go to more and more tiles, which we weren't able to do, like it would open up for us, but it would like then error out. Like we weren't able to actually play the future tiles.
Right. It gave us like a hint where we could kind of almost look at it for a second. And then we'd be like, whoa, you can't go in there, bro.
Right. Right. And it's so cool. The music is phenomenal and all that. But as far as the strategy, which I'm most concerned, just the fun aspect of the game will be when to go to like when a new tile opens up, it adds a whole bunch of complexity to the game with the number of quests that you have versus, and so it just learning all the risk reward there will be what I'm most focused on.
Every area is going to be a new, different dynamic, right? Like when we saw that second area in the town hall, like more difficult monsters that do different things with skills. And I'm like, bro, that's a whole nother thing we got to figure out. You know what I mean? It's like overwhelming.
And so you see this monster and you know it's like time to flee, like you said. That'll be interesting.
Well, you know, there might be really strong skills that you can use on monsters, and that's great. But like this strategy of this game is going to be how to stay alive and keep your weapons. I see in the comments also, I know Kung Fu talks about like if there's going to be different skills and weapons that like benefit different classes more, I think. So if you have all the 3 different classes, and when you find something, you can actually move an item from, say, a mage to a ranger, right? If you have a weapon that's like a ranger weapon. So like having multiple heroes will let you utilize all those items that you have, because just FYI for you, remember that, you know, items in the games are like those swords are not NFTs, right? So like when you find them, like they're not something you can sell to somebody else, but it benefits you to have another NFT that you can transfer them to another hero for your own self.
Right.
So like there's only value in having that extra hero or 2 or 3 or 6 versus like the items just sitting there and you throwing them away and you only get items that can be utilized for one player.
That makes a lot of sense. So how often do you think you'll stream your gameplay for those of us who'll be watching?
Every day. I don't plan on playing the game unless I'm live. That's my plan, at least at the beginning.
Yeah.
Doug?
I'm going to be playing when the game drops. I'm going to be streaming a bunch, and I might stream with Grady. Grady's got a great thing with streaming. We'll be doing stuff together. I also think we're going to have a lot of fun competing and see who can get what, and we'll develop some more competitive, like fun things. But I know Grady's going to want to stream a lot. I'm going to want to stream a lot too. And, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be doing it every day, but I'm definitely going to be like doing streams and videos to show people tips and maybe show people like something I found in the game that's exciting. Grady might concentrate a little bit more on the live streaming. I might be doing a little bit more of like the other stuff going on in the game.
No, that makes a lot of sense. So then, you know, last question here for both of you. Let's see, Doug has sort of disappeared for a second. But if you had like a sentence or something, what takeaway do you want the community to have before we wrap up? 1 sentence, 2 sentences, potentially.
I think Bloater Punch is phenomenal. He knows what he's doing. The team knows what they're doing. They're not going to put out a crappy game. And then the whole thing's a bust if they put out a crappy game.
Right. Over a year in progress, thinking through everything. Like this game was ready to launch months ago, but everything was being fine-tuned.
Yep.
Right? Making sure that we were ready to go. You know, all commitments that were made will always sort of be kept, right? Since the start, we said launching in May. We're always the plan was always to keep a part of that. But sorry,
and for me, it's ride or die. Like teams that I believe in, strong core values.
Yeah,
ride or die, baby. Just like DeFi Kingdoms, it's ride or die.
Sweet. Doug, do you have anything you want?
Yes. This is the thing. So I've had a lot of talks with like team members, Sam, you the other day, about how aligned we are with our values in this game. And there's going to be a lot of announcements coming out this week that are going to be groundbreaking, that are going to blow people's minds, that are going to be like, wow, that's really cool. I think, you know, that's what I think the reaction is going to be. And we talked about this a lot in the past. We've been so much ingrained with the community, getting feedback from people, doing Twitter spaces, live streams, see what people's reactions are. And the team has really responded to that and shown they're agile and really want to do the things that's best. They think of themselves as community members themselves, coming from other games and platforms where they're like, hey, we're going to take all the stuff that's going on we really like, we're going to improve on it and make a game that's really what we believe in. So the integrity and the intent is really there. And when we've come back to them, me and Grady, and saying like, hey, we know that you're not showing a lot of gameplay and stuff about the game and all these things because it's going to be competitive, so you can't like really release it. But people are saying like, hey, they really want to know about what the artwork that's coming out. They want to know about if the game's going to be really fun. And Bloater Punch is always like, dude, the game's like, I can't believe anybody wouldn't think this game is fun. Like, he's like, we're so obsessed with making the game fun. That's all we care about. Yeah. And then in the town hall that we had a couple days ago, we started seeing more of the artwork and more of the stuff. And I started getting excited. I go like, ooh, you know what I mean? I can see the peak of like the sunshine coming through that's like of what's happening in the game, because it's a hard juxtaposition where you have a game with a ladder system that's competitive. So you don't want to release anything to give people advantages that have like seen a video or something.
Right.
But that it's really, really exciting to see it starting to really come together for what we can see from the team. And as we saw, like the team is putting everything on this game being fun and enjoyable and liked by people. Like I've had so many conversations about they're putting everything of the community at the forefront and putting their own needs and desires last. So that's really something that's impressed me like crazy. In fact, full disclosure, when the game and the team was revealed and Grady had been talking about me behind the scenes, just like, hey, there's a new game coming out. I can't say much about it, or I don't know much about it, but it's going to be like really exciting. And it came out and we had a town hall. I started DMing the team immediately being like, hey, let me help you find more people and things, because I just believe in what you're doing. Your messaging, what you're doing is like really awesome. And what you care about of the integrity of making the game at the least amount variable as possible and very stable and long lasting type things, right? So long-term tokenomics and thirst traps. So that to me gets me really excited about this game. And I can only speak in earnest and get hyped about something if I really believe in myself. I'll be the first person to take the step and take the risk or put myself in play and put my name on the line before I'll ask anybody else to do it. And that's how I think the team and everybody involved has been doing it too. So I really appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, that's sweet. One thing I will mention is sometimes people forget this doesn't mean this is the end, right? Like, so the game's going to launch on day one, but does that mean there's no more updates? No, it was just that the team is very like passionate about making sure that we release things fully and with a full communication plan and everything else. We don't want to promise something, but what I'll tell you is this is not just going to be the end. Right, there's going to be more things coming.
This is the beginning. This is a very small beginning of just like one ladder season, and then build off of that, because like they always say, they want to do one thing really well and make it really great and have people really like it and want more, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at if you saw that, go and look at that town hall, look at the artwork, look at the elf and the ogres and stuff, bro. Like, I'm from NFT land where I really care about artwork and things, and that just got me just jacked up. It just got me really excited.
And if you're watching, you can only be watching this on YouTube, I guess. So if you are, you can find it on our YouTube channel.
Right in the YouTube channel, the town hall there, where you can see some. I mean, because people started going crazy in the Discord. They're like, dude, did you see that elf I'm thirst trapping right now? They're like, bro, how do I get one of those? And going crazy. And that naturally just happened, right, with the people in the community. So like, that's what you want to see. You want to see that natural hype starting, because the hype from people actually seeing things that they really like.
Awesome. So you know what? With that, I'm going to move over to the last part of this community chat, which is really reminding everyone about the mint. So as you know, May 27th is our mint. We've sort of given you the timing and the announcement, so it's sort of up here, right? Don't forget, there's a live stream. Both Grady and Doug Hype will be on the live stream. They may be minting themselves and showing that as well, but we will be sharing you some details, letting you know the updates on like how the whitelist is going, the minting. If you have any questions, we're here to support you as well and make sure that you have a great experience. I've been part of mints in the past where like the website didn't load and I didn't know where to go. I didn't want to miss out. We're going to have a live stream to make sure everyone feels confident, comfortable. The whitelist time starts at 11 a.m. Regular mint starts at noon. Let's not forget here that our pricing is for the public mint. We got 2,200 Genesis Heroes available at 300 USD. The boosted mint, it's 400 USD. And then for the whitelist, you got 300 available, regular mint at 150, and then boosted 250. Right now, I know there's some numbers there that might have changed because I know 60% and whatever. So stick with the latest communication because this is an older image. One of the other sort of things that I do want to remind you of is we have a really big campaign going on. We launched this, I think, 3 weeks into our promotion of Dragon's Crossing. It's called the Invite and Win campaign. So if you invite new players into our Discord, you earn raffle tickets when they stay, right? So no point inviting somebody who's there for like half an hour, even there for a day, right? We know there's a lot of competing priorities. There's tons of things that are sort of distracting right now. And typically what happens is when you have a mint or when you have a game launch, people are like, that's great, that's fantastic. Let me know when it's launching. Let me know when the mint is. So I kind of know, right? So if you know somebody or you remember telling someone about the project, but they're like, let me know later, this is a perfect time to invite them because we're going to ramp up our activity. We're going to ramp up our announcements. And obviously the snapshot is happening this week because it's prior to the mint. So the snapshot has not been taken. When the snapshot is taken, it'll be announced, but obviously it's going to happen within the next few days. So if you want to get a shot at winning one of 7 Genesis heroes, this is a fantastic way to do so. With that being said, I want to thank everyone for watching our first community chat. I want to thank Doug and Grady for coming on. I think it's been a great conversation. And, we look forward to, the next town hall, which is happening this Friday. I think I have the screen somewhere here. And when that town hall happens, you're going to hear some really nice updates, what's going on with the project, some really cool things to be bullish about, and then get us ready for the mint and then launch on day 1. With that being said, I want to thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you later.
Yeah, baby.
Baby.